All right, guys, week 1 of the Laces Out podcast is here. Of course, my co-host right here, we have J Bunk and Water Boys. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me. What's up, man?
Yes, sir. Glad to be here. Ready to get this thing going.
Yes, sir. Today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter than usual, but we're going to be trying to switch things up, and we're going to start going on Fridays live. So I know we got Troy Hewitt, everybody in the chat right now going off. Thank you guys for coming in here live. Of course, we enjoy all the company. We'll be asking questions and stuff once we eventually get a little bit more audience and we have some time to do so. So anyway, let's get straight into these games this week. J Bunk, I know you have a good one for us. Who are you looking for?
The game I'm looking at this week is the Chicago Bears versus the Los Angeles Rams. Just a couple intriguing storylines for me. Andy Dalton starting for the Bears. Coming out the gates week 1 against one of the NFL's top defenses in the Rams. You know, how soon are they pulling the plug on Dalton and going to Justin Fields? You know, it's going to be a tough game for him, you know, week 1. So, you know, is it week 2? Is it week 3? You know, how soon do we see Justin Fields? He looked really good in preseason. Seemed to have good control of the offense. So I'll be excited to see him get some playing time. And then on the other side, the Rams, obviously Super Bowl contention is what they're aiming for.
Yeah. Bringing
in Matthew Stafford. You know, all you ever heard was Jared Goff is the reason that they're not getting over the edge. So no excuses now. Bringing in Matt Stafford. He's got the pieces around him better than he ever had in Detroit. Not only on offense, but like I just said, one of the best defenses in the league. They could very well carry them to the playoffs just by themselves. So, interested to see both sides of that. What do you got?
I mean, just to talk a little bit about that, I mean, Justin Fields, I think everyone's kind of shocked that Dalton is starting. I mean, maybe that's just because it's like, hey, you know, let the veterans start and let the rookie sit behind him, I guess. I don't know if that's just old school football, but I don't know. I see him starting at least by week 3. What do you think on that, Waterboy?
Oh, I would say I'm going to go with like the third series after the fumble and the interception.
Hey, that could happen. I could definitely see him getting put in that game. If it's that bad, Rams do have a good defense, so.
Maybe I'm wrong for his family's sake. I don't know. I definitely don't see him the Dalton experiment lasting long.
Yeah, true. I think that experiment's gonna go terribly wrong. But Waterboy, who is your game of the week? Who are you looking at?
Man, I'm gonna bring it back to home base here and look at the Jets and the Panthers. I'm thinking they've got a pretty low over-under, but I can see this going a little bit more. I mean, there's a lot of offense I truly think the Panthers are bringing to the table. I mean, with their, Terrence Marshall, Anderson, Moore, you get into, you know, everybody's pumped up. They see McCaffrey back for the first time all season. Or since last season, I should say, really playing, so hopefully up to full strength. You know, I think they'll bring it out. The Jets' defense is not that hot. No, I don't think so. And on the other side, I think with Zach Wilson, I think he'll put up a bigger stat line than Darnold will, and the Jets will kind of laugh in their face and take the W back up north.
Oh, okay. I have to agree with the win, but I mean, I do think Zach Wilson's the real deal. I think he's one of those guys who's going to come in and actually play really well for rookie season, especially not being under Adam Gase like Sam Darnold was whenever he was there in New York. So I really think it's a revenge game for Sam Darnold to just prove to the Jets fans, like, hey, this wasn't all me. Like, I'm going to show you. And I'm 24 years old, and this is my 3rd or 4th season in the NFL. Like, he's a real young guy and he's already got a lot of experience. So I'm excited for that game, but I really hope it's not a close one. I really think it could be bad. I think the Panthers got a decent defense, and no one's going to count us. No one's going to listen to me until they actually get on the field. So I can't really say too much about that. What do you think, Bunk?
I agree, man. Last episode, I mentioned Sam Darnold is one of my favorites for comeback player of the year this year. I think he's got the best system around him that he's ever had, and I'm excited to see what he can do. It's kind of the same thing. No more excuses. I mean, put up or shut up. You either belong in the NFL or you don't. So this is his time to figure it out.
Kind of like how you were talking about for Jared Goff, same way. I mean,
Yep.
he's actually now got a little bit better weapons around him. Being Sam Darnold's got, McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrence Marshall. They got the weapons. Now, if he sucks, then that's on him. So I really hope that's not the case, but I really hope that's not the case. I know a lot of people are counting on that he's just not it. So if that's the case, the Panthers are going to have
be careful, man. A lot of people underestimate Zach Wilson and his scrambling out of the pocket rushing ability. So
I will say this. I do think I agree with you on this. I think Zach Wilson might have a better stat line, but I think that's going to be just because that. I don't know. I feel like Sam Darnold is going to rely on McCaffrey a lot, so I feel like we're going to run the ball. And I just feel like Zach Wilson is going to have to throw a lot if they're going to try to score. So he's definitely going to have the yards, I think. But going into the next game, the one that I'm going to bring it down to your hometown, Waterboy, we're going to go Browns at Chiefs. Now, I know that you don't live there, but I know you're a homer for the Chiefs. So we're going to go say the Browns-Chiefs. Now, remember, I had the Browns in the Super Bowl as my Super Bowl prediction, winning the whole thing. And this is where week one, where I think they're going to show everybody that they do have indeed what it takes to be a high-caliber team. And that, that's just being with that ground and pound offense that they have. They have a decent defense. Myles Garrett at the defensive end. I think they just have a lot of good pieces, and I feel like it's going to be a good game. I think that. I just think that Browns are going to keep it on the ground this time and see what it goes. But obviously, Patrick Mahomes on the other side. You got this guy is an amazing. You got Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, which is J-Bung's boy. They just have a lot of weapons on the offense. Clyde Edwards-Helaire there as well. And they even upgraded their offensive line. So definitely going to be a challenge, but I think the Browns defense can handle it. If they get a few stops, and as long as they keep control of the the ground and pound offense that they have, and try not to compete with air yards with Mahomes, okay? Baker is not going to be that guy to out-throw Mahomes. So don't expect that, guys. If you got Baker in your fantasy football, don't expect him to be throwing a bunch with this team. They have a great ground and pound offense with Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So watch out for those guys. What do you guys think to talk a little bit about that game?
I agree with you. I think it's going to be a good game, and I might be throwing something away here. I mean, the Chiefs' defense is still not that good. They've retained a lot of the same personnel, just swapping them around a little bit. So, I mean, I see this definitely being a high-scoring game, and the folks out west there think the same thing. I think they got one of the highest totals of the week.
Yeah.
And the Browns might take it. They're playing in Cleveland, correct?
I think they're in Kansas City.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, they're in Kansas City. It starts at 4:25 Eastern. So that's going to be a great game after you're watching the 1 o'clock games. That's definitely going to be the one that I feel like is going to be the most watched. But,
it'll be watched in this household.
For sure, I bet over there. And just to touch up a little bit on Thursday night, Cowboys Buccaneers. I think this is going to be actually a better game than what people are expecting. I think the Cowboys, they're not going to get it done on the ground. I think the Buccaneers defense just has what it takes to just shut it down. So you'll see them try to come out and run the ball first. I think Tampa's going to shut it down real quick. So it all comes down to Dak. Can Dak spread the ball around to all of his receivers? He has threats. And then if that's the case, then maybe Zeke can get, not a crowded box. So I feel like it comes down to Dak when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys and Buccaneers game. What do you think, Bunk?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not too high on Dallas going into this game. I think it's going to be a pretty easy win for Tampa. Their defense is just –
yeah.
I mean, we saw it in the Super Bowl. It's just unreal, the speed they play with, the attack to the ball is just unreal. Getting to the quarterback, I mean,
isn't Zach Martin out as well?
Yeah, Zach Martin's out as well, so they're gonna have a backup lineman in. Never a good thing. Just ask Patrick Mahomes how that worked out in the Super Bowl. It didn't go good.
No.
I feel for Dak. I don't think it's going to be a fun day for Dak.
Yeah, I think one of another tackle's out for the Cowboys as well, Collins.
Oh, man. That's really
on the line
then.
Yeah.
Bucs might put up more points on defense than offense then. I mean, it might come down to that. Well, hopefully it's a decent game because that will be the first game of the NFL season. So I'm ready for it, guys. I know everyone is. But other than that, let's wrap up and go into the injury report that Mr. J. Bunk has prepared for us.
Yeah, just a couple high notes. Justice Hill got hurt, so that makes the second Ravens running back to get hurt. With Dobbins out for the season, Justice Hill is now out for the season as well. So Gus Edwards is the clear RB1. Congratulations, Waterboys.
I'll
keep an eye on.
He said, "I'll take
keep an eye on who they bring in. Apparently, they're working out Le'Veon. They're working out Devontae Freeman. Whoever they bring in could possibly have some value. I know Tyson Williams is there. He looked pretty good with in preseason, so maybe he'll be the RB2 just out of the fact that he's been there. Odell Beckham is questionable, even though he's expected to play. Just keep an eye on that. Same with Ayuk, who's questionable. Doesn't look too serious, but should know something later in the week. And then Saquon, I mentioned earlier, he's expected to play, but maybe not 100% workload, probably 70 to 80%. So just be realistic with your expectations for him coming off a serious injury. CEH, for those Chiefs that we were just talking about, he's questionable as well, but he is expected to play. I don't see him missing time. And Chris Godwin tomorrow night, keep an eye on him. He apparently had an injury come up in practice, so he's questionable now as well.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about the Godwin thing. All right, well, let's go straight into their boom or bust of the week for you guys. Now, remember, we like to keep the record, so let's try to get some good ones here. So, Bunk, I'm gonna let you go first for your boom, and then just say your boom. We'll go around for the bust after.
All right, boom. I'm gonna go with, and this pains me to say because I face him this week, Dalvin Cook against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, that's a good one.
I could see a 30 burger.
I think that's pretty safe boom right there, man. Mr. Waterboys, do you have your boom, or do you want to talk about Mr. Dalvin? Do you think that might not be the right boom? I don't know. I think that's a pretty safe call.
Yeah, that's kind of getting unfair, taking the cherry right there.
I know, right? We'll make sure his bust is a little bit more, iffy.
Yeah, definitely. I could definitely see Cook hanging it on you there, but I'm going to wish you the best otherwise. My boom, I'm looking at Mr. Robinson out of Jacksonville facing that atrocious Texans defense, and they're just going to feed him the ball like they done last year. And, I mean, he run over the Texans twice last year, and he's going to make it 3 in a row and just blow the doors, and maybe he hangs a 30 burger for the Water Boys this week.
Yeah, and not to say like they don't have J.J. Watt anymore either for Houston's sake. It is just that's one of those teams who actually might become defeated at the end of the season. So look out for that. For my boom, I'm gonna have to go going back to the game that I called out. I'm gonna say Nick Chubb. Against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're going to, like I said, the only way I feel like they're going to beat that team is to stay on the ground. So why not? I'm going to pick Mr. Nick Chubb for having a good game week 1 against the Chiefs.
Good. Can I throw a bonus boom for that game out for the folks in the world?
The bonus boom has come in. Go ahead.
The bonus boom. Look at Austin Hooper, tight end for the Browns, high-scoring game. Again, the the Chiefs didn't change a lot on defense. They were in the bottom, I think, third of the league against tight ends last year. So maybe looking for Mr. Hooper to have a big game this Sunday.
Okay, I actually have him on my team. Let me think. Now, this is my decision that I thought. I do have him starting. But I had him or Jared Cook for the Chargers. Now, we haven't got to see what Jared Cook has with the Chargers, but I'm choosing. I'm with you. I'm choosing Austin Hooper. But they got a bunch of tight ends.
It's a good play.
And Njoku and
yeah,
I don't know. So you think that's the smart play? So just go ahead and
I would roll with it. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna lock it in for my tight end look. As long as Justin can call me with an injury report saying Hooper not feeling too well Sunday afternoon.
I'll call Kendall and tell him to put a hex on it real quick.
Yeah. All right. So I guess now let's get straight into the bus. Go ahead, Bunk. Do you have your bus guy ready?
Yep, I'm going back to the Chicago-LA game, and I'm going to say David Montgomery. I think that defense is going to get them behind early.
Screw you, first of all.
I think that defense is going to get them behind early, and I think they're going to just have to throw the ball. I don't think it's going to be a good game script for David Montgomery. So I'm going to say he busts this week.
What you thinking, Mr. Waterboy, for your bust?
I'm going to go with Mr. Elliott out of the Dallas Cowboys stable. We hit on it earlier on the injury report, going to be missing a few linemen. And against that Bucs defense, they're going to, you said earlier, put it on Dak. They're going to put it on him to see if he's over his injury and, put it out of his mind and concentrate on Zeke. So I'm going to say Zeke's going to be a bust this week.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go to the Jets-Panthers game. And for me, I'm going to go with Corey Davis. I think he is going to be locked up. I think they know that they got to throw. So I think he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be locked up, and they're going to have to throw to other receivers there. I think they saw what
Mr.
preseason.
Elijah Moore.
I mean, yeah, because if you looked at the preseason, all he was doing is targeting Corey Davis. That's all everyone's talked about. Everyone was saying pick him up in your drafts and everything. And we even seen him go for a ridiculous amount of money in our league. I think that was due to alcohol. But if not, I mean, I just think it's been overhyped. I think he's been definitely one of the most overhyped receivers this year. And I understand Zach Wilson. Like I said, he's going to have a decent stat line. He's got to throw to somebody. I just don't think it's going to be Corey Davis. So that is my bust of the week. Anything else you guys want to wrap up on? I kind of want to talk a little bit, since we got a little bit of time, going back to the games. The Cardinals-Titans. If anyone wants to, start on that one. I mean, I just think it's going to be a little bit more of, we haven't seen these rosters yet. I mean, you have the Cardinals with, you got AJ Green on the other side. You have the Cardinals defense that has JJ Watt now, who I was just talking about, who Houston doesn't have anymore. That's a huge upgrade for them. And then for the Titans, obviously, Julio Jones now on the other side of AJ Brown. So I think this game could get really offensive heavy, but I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think on that game, though? Who do you guys think is favored? That in Titans?
The Titans are favored, I do believe, yes, sir. And I think they'll stick to it. I mean, they do have Jones, but I mean, he's injured again. I think his old hamstrings bothering him. But
yeah, he's questionable.
AJ Brown, he's been a monster the past couple seasons. I can see him just running that little. I mean, all the Cardinals' backs are pretty short in comparison to Brown. I just think he's going to tower over him. I think he'll have a monster game this week.
What you think, Bunk?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think it probably gets into a shootout. I mean, obviously Tennessee relies on Derrick Henry for most of their offense, but I mean, like you said, both offenses are loaded. I see definitely a high-scoring, back-and-forth game. I'd probably give Tennessee the edge just because they can control the clock and the tempo with Derrick Henry. But don't count Arizona out, man. That Murray to Hopkins connection is legit.
I agree. I think Tennessee has a little bit more of the same players on their teams when it comes to like. I just feel like they're more comfortable as a team right now. Now maybe it might be opposite once Arizona gets started halfway through the season. But yeah, I agree. I think Tennessee's gonna take that one. But all right, well, guys, I think that's it. And for week 1, I'm happy we are starting week 1, not week 2 like last season. Last season, we literally started week 2, so I'm glad we got to jump on it and even had a little preseason episode as well. If you guys haven't watched that, go do so. It's about a 30-minute episode. So, all right, guys, well, that's it. And I guess we'll see if our predictions are right. We will keep the records here down below. And, yeah, anything you guys want to say before we sign off?
Just good luck to everybody, and make sure you make the right call and don't second guess yourself.
That doesn't mean doesn't mean to be commenting in the comments saying that we're gonna make the decisions for you. You have to make the decisions yourself. But we don't know what the rest of your team lineup looks like, and don't forget, scour the waiver wire, guys. There's a lot of players in the league, and there's people that they think are not available. They're available, and you wake up the next day, you're like, holy cow, the guy was there. I didn't know it. Just take 5 minutes, take a peek. I like that tip. And also, I feel like a lot of people on week 1 are struggling on who should I pick? Who should I pick? Even for me, that tight end decision, Austin Hooper and Jared Cook, I was like, we haven't seen Jared Cook play for the Chargers. So, in my opinion, I would go with your gut just week 1, see how it plays out. Even if you lose week 1, it's not the end of the world. You guys can afford a loss. It's only week 1, so don't really worry about it. Don't panic. And, don't get in your head week 1. There's still a lot of decisions you're going to be having to make later on.
Yes, sir. Couldn't say it better.
Is that it? Cool
That's
deal.
it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching week 1 of the Laces Out podcast, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.